Order. Please be seated. All right, welcome to 360's first debate of many to come. We'll get off doing this one day too. We'll have some good debates. We have Team 1, or Team 2 versus Team 1 over here.
Yep.
The winning team gets bragging rights, but the top two people, and your respect, and Steve's respect, for as long as he can remember. And the top two people are going to get tickets to tomorrow's Sharks game. So top two, you guys will have to go together. So it does not matter if you're on the winning or losing team. We're just going on top two people who we think do the best job arguing their points. Cool, makes sense there. And the topic is plastic cards are easy to use and cannot be replaced by mobile payment schemes. And we have the Team 1 as the opposing team, so they're basically arguing that the mobile schemes are going to kick the plastic cards' asses. And then Team 2 is arguing that plastic cards are here to stay. All right. And when you get up, when you're speaking, just come behind this. You can use your notes. It's an open book debate here. So we invite pro person 1. So that would be you guys. So the first speaker.
4 minutes. Starting now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather to talk about NFC, Apple Pay integration. So we believe that plastic cards, whether it's EMV or non-EMV, are here to stay. You know, people have them in their wallets. They've had them in their wallets for years. The payments industry is constantly evolving and changing, and the only constant in the industry has been plastic cards. With Apple Pay coming out and different NFC options, there's many different products and services that are out there, and none of them have show that they can stay the course or that they're here to stay. There's just early adopters and people that are jumping on it, but how many people are actually going to switch away from their plastic card and go all in with NFC or Apple Pay? Really at this time, nobody. So that's what we're looking at, that we have something that's tried and true, everybody has it in their wallets, and even if all the early adopters jump in on it, merchants need to make it so that they're able to pay as well. So you can't walk in and pay with NFC anywhere. So that makes it difficult to say that this new technology is going to come in and replace all the plastic cards that we have in our wallets. It seems like something that's maybe more complementary or a neat product for, you know, people that are tech savvy, that enjoy technology to use, but it's definitely not a solution that's going to be able to replace the plastic cards that we have used for years, are tried and true, and people are comfortable with. And I think that's the biggest thing, is people are comfortable with them, and merchants don't need to add anything, you know, despite EMV, which is coming out now, they don't have to change anything in their system to be able to accept them. And consumers are already in habits of the way that they pay. They come into a store, they're very comfortable taking out their credit card and paying. Merchants are ready for it. And we also have different ways to pay for things like utilities and things like that, where you need to get your number off your card. So we just believe that the plastic cards are here to stay, and that Apple Pay and NFC is a great new option, but we just can't see that in any time in the near future to take over for plastic cards completely. Let the debate begin.
All right, opposition 1.
Sure. He's got it.
Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, people at work. Talking about mobile payments are the wave of the future. Plastic cards are here. They've been here for years. Back, 40, 50 years ago, there were no plastic cards. Checks and cash were the only way to pay. Plastic cards came in. It took years to adopt plastic cards. They're here now, and everyone thinks this is the way it's been. This is the way it's always going to be. This isn't true. Technology is changing. It took years for plastic cards to be adopted, and at that time, nobody thought plastic cards were going to be around. It was checks. That's how you paid. So when plastic cards came in, it took years for people to adopt plastic cards. You have the older people still writing checks. You have older people still writing checks today. But everybody has a plastic card in their pocket, even if they're still writing checks. That's the shift with mobile payments. Plastic cards are going to be around for a while, but they're going to go away. Shift is already moving. Technology is already here with the mobile payments. Everybody's not adopting it immediately. It's going to be the same transition, like going from checks to plastic cards took years. It's going to take years for everybody to adopt mobile payments. It's not going to be immediately. So at this time, you're right. It's not fully integrated at this time. Nothing is going to be a dead stop and a dead start. So it's going to take a while to switch over. The convenience is huge. Not having tons of things, just having your phone. Loop Pay, we're already using it. Just walk up, tap a button, and you pay for it. So the convenience side is there. Security is a huge thing. EMD is great. It's already coming into the plastic cards. But if you read about the Apple Pay is even more secure than the EMV chips. It changes every time you use it. It's your fingerprint. If somebody gets your PIN number when you put it in, just like PIN debit now your security is no good because they have your PIN number and they have your chip. You know, it's done. Nobody can duplicate your fingerprint. So that's the security is there. Huge thing is cost. Cost is gonna, the card issuers are gonna have it free to distribute a digital number to you, or the 10 or 15 cents it costs them to make a card, times millions of cards. It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be cost driven. They're going to cut out their costs, and eventually the habits of people are going to change. Back to my other point, it's going to take years, but the habits of people, it's going to be easier. You look at the people who never thought they were going to have a cell phone. My grandmother never would think she used a cell phone. She has one now. It's still a flip phone, but she has a cell phone. It's going to be the same thing with smartphones. The cost is going to be so cheap for smartphones. You're going to get it with your plan for 20 bucks, and they're going to have a mobile app or a mobile payment option to it. So it's going to take years to do it, but the convenience and the technology and the security is going to make sure that mobile payments are coming in and are going to be the wave of the future. They're here to stay. I rest my case.
All right, we got pro person 2.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your points are weak. You said that cards took 40, 50 years, or have been in place 40, 50 years, and checks have been overtaken. This is where you are incorrect. Checks are still over 10 times, are used 10 times the amount of credit cards.
Let me see a reference.
If not a higher. You can ask Mrs. Coyle right there. She's got all the numbers from Heartland Payment Systems.
That was like 5 years ago.
Wait, what was that point?
I call bullshit.
They are. They're still used 10, but maybe even 20 times more.
Worldwide.
So,
More than credit card?
more than credit cards. This
10
is
or
correct.
maybe 20 times.
This is
Maybe
correct.
20.
Not everyone in America has an iPhone. We live in an area, and the coast, we'll call it the East Coast, the West Coast, it only makes up, where we live in our high-end techie bubble, it is exactly what it is. It's just a bubble. Most of America still uses checks, still uses a credit card, and a lot of people we met when Steve and I went to Georgia don't even have cell phones. They don't have cell phones. They don't even have a smartphone. Some of them still use a Trans 330. Not saying that they should stay with that technology. So eventually, I think it will go to a fingerprint. But it's like the Jetsons. It's going to take 40, 50 years for it to transition out of maybe using a credit card into using your fingerprint. As of now, what is it? Only 2.5% of
220,000 merchants total.
have wanted to use or get the iPay.
Right.
So
Repeat that.
only 225 merchants So far, 225,000 merchants have been interested in getting the iPay. So, like I said, it's probably, it's people in the Bay Area, people in LA, people in New York. What's that?
Limited places.
There's limited places where they can use it, right? It's like that Pay Pass that Jack in the Box has had forever, right? You've been able to go up to Jack in the Box, see this silly little thing sitting outside. Who uses that? I've never seen it. The thing collects dust and dirt sitting outside.
How do we know this is the thing?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
there's that.
All right.
Who
We
goes to
got
Jack in the Box?
I go to French Jacks.
Jesse goes all the time.
What?
Free range.
Oh, we got a little tandem.
Well, they have to share points. There's 4 of them.
First, I would like to open by saying Jack in the Box tacos are delicious.
I just had one this morning.
After a
Make
long night
me
of
feel
drinking.
so good.
Pay Pass?
Yeah, after a long night of drinking, Jack in the Box
Later?
tacos are the best ever.
Yeah, they're together.
Good morning, everybody. Great points, DQ. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I have to be honest. You mentioned 40 to 50 years for checks to go away, but you said they will go away. That's great. I think 40 to 50 years is maybe too long of a time, because I believe, and the people I see in the environment traveling around the world, people who are writing checks are probably 50 and 60 plus. Well, those people are not going to be around for 40 to 50 years. Unless some other technology comes out
I wrote a check
and
today.
replaces
I wrote a check for my rent
that.
today too.
You guys are going to die too.
And the way technology is evolving, it's just going to get even faster and faster. Well, think about when the first computers come out and the memory and the RAM and all that was in there. That's just becoming faster and faster. What we have technology-wise in our phones is just, it's not doubling, it's not quadrupling. It's just happening so much faster.
So how do we know that there's not going to be something better than NFC to come next?
That's the great thing about technology, Matt. Very good point. And to add on to what DQ said, again, you were right. Not everyone has an iPhone. Some people use Android still, but eventually we'll switch, I think. But it's not just iPay that's out there, right? So people can use their Google Wallet. I mean, there's a million different ways. We have a software called PayTrace where we can just store their credit card information. So it's not just iPay that we're looking at here. We're looking at, as a technology, where are we moving, or how are we moving into the future, right? How are we getting rid of paper and becoming more green? And this is the way that we're doing it. And when we talk about the, people in Alabama or something like that, sitting in the swamp that don't have cell phones, sure. The liquor store around there or the crawfish shack isn't going to take NFC, right? They're not expecting someone to walk in with their iPhone where there's no signal and take a payment, right?
Excellent point.
It is an excellent point. The masses is what we're talking about, right? We're talking about major cities in every state, right? Whether it's California or Oklahoma or even in Mobile, Alabama, I'm sure they'll be taking mobile payments at some point, right? So although there is some truth in Team 2's arguments, they are half-truths. And what we're talking about really is the future. And where we're headed to.
And with the future, I have a couple more points to make.
Yes.
Technology is really there to replace high cost. And how technology is evolving, everything is becoming cheaper. The cost of even producing checks, I looked this up online last night. Bank of America to still send you a stack of checks costs you $12. Or, as far as I'm concerned, producing the new EMV secure cards are costing $10 to $15. While for the banks and MasterCard and Visa, eventually just to issue a series of numbers that will be embedded into your technology in your pocket, the virtual cost for that will be close to zero. And once that is realized by companies, that's going to be also a big push to take over with NFC Pay. Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, closing arguments.
Such good points.
Our debate was stating that plastic cards, they think they're going to go away completely, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
She's breaking
You
it
wanna
down.
finish?
There's no heckling, closing arguments.
Are we done?
You shouldn't be a politician.
So 4 minutes?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mobile
Baby
Alabama,
for you to kiss
the mobile payments in mobile Alabama, that was...
Oh, wait, my bad, hold on. Opposition 3, Zach goes. You're right.
3 minutes?
Sorry.
Please sit down.
Because the pro starts and
Premature.
closes. I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys close. You get the final say.
Good point,
Good
Mrs.
job,
Coyle.
Zach.
Good point.
I just want to make it fair.
I'm taking this off. I'm gonna need this.
I'm trying to get higher here.
Do you have all the points?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Just
give them.
All right, no heckling anymore.
Just to start off, I want to thank Matt. First thing he said, was that this industry is constantly evolving. He's absolutely right, and that's why plastic credit cards are not going to remain the main use of payment. They're going to become a thing of the past. Let's start with security. They're definitely more secure. The NFC chips, they've already proven to be more secure than plastic. The EMV, like Jesse said, who knows if even that's going to be the main thing that takes over. It could be this wireless form of payment because of the security. Gives merchants the more opportunity to compete. So they're never going to have to tell someone else, sorry, we don't accept your Apple Pay, whatever it is. They're going to be able to, all their customers are going to be happy and realize they can bring whatever in to get what they want. They're trying to do buy product. So we also know Apple Pay as they got all their incorporated Apple Passbook, which has already been verified and backed by American Express, MasterCard, Visa. So there's no question there. The card brands are adopting it as well. And as DQ said, more than 220,000 merchants have already said they're going to take it. So that's a good thing. That's a lot of merchants already on board with this, and it's just growing from there.
It's only been announced 2 weeks ago.
Another thing too is Apple Pay is the big one coming out now. Apple does have big pull in the industry. Apple has big pull in the industry, and the only thing that can come from that is other forms of like say Android also creating their own type of wallet, which is just going to make merchants see that more and more people are getting these wireless forms of payment, and that they're going to have to soon eventually start taking these wireless cards. Apple Pay will streamline the payments for the payments process for consumers because they can store all their cards on the passbook. And then again, I know I'm preaching on Apple Pay. We're talking mobile payments in general. I'm sure that Apple is going to set the bar on this, and then all the others are going to follow along. If not, they're just going to make something better that Apple will then follow along with. So, and consumers can make transactions using just their watch. They don't even need their phone, but they could use their phone too. They just don't need that traditional wallet anymore. So, like consumers, companies of all sizes can benefit from streamlined payments and that make business management easier. Time will tell, but Apple Pay and other forms of mobile payment could forever alter the payments industry. Small business owners should at least prepare for the elevated attention and potential demand typically following new Apple technology releases.
Boom.
Thank you.
Yes!
Team one going for the kill. Way to go down in defeat.
Nice job.
All right, closing arguments, pro 3.
Thank you, Zach, for those valid points. I was kind of biting my tongue the whole time when the number 220,000 got spit out. I think it was a little misinterpreted. When we spit out the number 220,000, that's the number of merchants Apple is estimating will get up on that, and that's nationwide. So, big picture, we're talking 2.5% of businesses are actually going to be estimated to take this Apple Pay. And
There's 10 million businesses out there, right?
right, so I mean,
Yeah.
220,000, that's not...
Order. You're interrupting your own team.
So our point with that number...
Say again, please.
What's that?
Could you repeat?
Okay, yeah, so the point with that number, 220,000, it's not to say that Apple's taking a ton of Apple Pay or has a ton of people expecting to accept it. It's actually showing what small fraction is actually in place to take that. So when we look at, the startup and, how many merchants are going to take it, what it really hinges on our big businesses, people like Walmart, Home Depot, the big department stores. And Walmart, for one, is not one that's going to be taking it. And then with small merchants, even, someone like in 360's portfolio, with costs, it seems like the big talking point is how cheap it's going to be. to have an NFC device instead of taking a credit card. But the merchants, the ones accepting these Apple Pays, are the ones that are going to have to buy them.